Adrian Vandenberg, thank you very much for this interview for our Tunisian listeners. So, from long time, you were considered, you come from a generation of what they call guitar hero, with Whitesnake and things like that. And now, there's no more guitar hero in metal today. There are no more solos.
That's true, I think for the crowd, for the fans, nothing has changed that much. But there's a big difference on the media, on radio and television. Right now, it's not hip. Apparently, it's all hip hop and rap and stuff, But for me, it doesn't matter, and for the fans, it doesn't matter either. Because when some kind of music is in your heart, like for me, I play this because this is what I love to do most ever since I was 14 or something. And whether there's 50 people or 50,000, it's all great. When everybody has a great time, that inspires me to keep doing what I do,
But how do you explain that nowadays in metal bands, there's no more the personality of the guitar, that makes big solos?
Yeah, it's true. What I see in metal is there's not a lot of identity in playing, and I have a little theory about it. Is that the generation from now, they all grew up learning on YouTube or on DVDs from guys like Steve Vai, Yngwie Malmsteen, or whatever. So for me, everybody sounds very similar. When I grew up, I can't read notes, I figure everything out myself, and for me it's very important to express something in a way that other people do differently. For instance, when I hear 3 notes from Brian May, or 2 notes from Eddie Van Halen or Jimi Hendrix, or you name them, instantly that's this guy, So for me it's very important, because otherwise everybody has got exactly the same way of expressing. They have a very similar sound, everybody. A lot of distortion, a lot of compression, which is really easy to play, pretty easy to play really fast. So everybody plays really fast all the time. For me, I compare it to when you would learn to speak very fast. Everybody goes, wow, that guy can speak very fast, but I don't know what he's saying. There's too many words. For me, speed, I can play fast if I want, but for me it's like a little part of something that I want to try to get across. It's like a form of expression. And like you said, right now, a lot of metal bands I hear, I find it very hard to hear the difference between one guy and the other one, which I think is an important reason why there's not a lot of guys that stand out, from the new generations. They play very similar. They listen to the same guys. They watch YouTube and they go, oh, wheelie wheelie, oh, that's how he does it. Okay, wheelie wheelie wheelie. It's really good, but it's very similar.
Yeah, and now we can learn guitar by using computer, and there's software that are free that make you learn to play all the solo and the riffs. It's easier now, and maybe you can learn technique but not feelings.
Yeah, that's true. That's exactly what it is. And technique, whether it's music or whether it's painting or whether it's whatever art form, like if you look at a writer, for instance, a writer uses the same words that we use, but he or she puts it in such an order that you get touched by it. You go, oh man, that's beautiful, And it's the same words that we use. So with all the guitar players that grow up in this generation, they make the same sentences because they play a lot of scales. They go, and I get impressed by it. For like 1 or 2 solos, I go, wow, it's technically really good. And then I get bored personally, and think, come on, speak to me, speak to my heart, speak to my soul, and then I want to get goosebumps, And when I hear, for instance, Eddie Van Halen solos in Beat It, it's fast, but it's tasteful. It's like he tells a little story using his technique as a means to say something. And like one of my all-time favorite solos is this solo from Brian May in Killer Queen. it's a whole story in itself, and it's a song in a song, and that's what I've always tried to do. Whether it's a 20-second solo or something, I want to tell a little story, and then at the live shows, every once in a while you show a little technique, but when I listen to a guitar player or a singer or a drummer, I want to get the feeling that I want to hear more and more. I want to hear the next song and the next solo and the next drum solo and the next. And then when the show is over, you go, oh man, I wish it was longer, because. So when you give everything in the first two songs, then there's not much to wait for, and then you've seen it all. Yeah. But like you said, it's a different generation, and the way kids grow up right now is they get all this information really fast and really quick. It's snap, 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 snap. Kids don't really read papers or books anymore. They just look at their telephones and they go, oh, a little bit of this, a little bit of that, a little bit of this, quick, little bits, a lot of little bits, really quick. And then they lose interest. So that's one thing I'm trying to teach my daughter, to listen in a different way to things, She likes hip-hop too and all that stuff, and I try to understand it, and I do, because some of the grooves are really great. And then I hear an interesting lyric, but there's no melody to, so I lose a little interest, But I'm trying to see the good stuff that's in there, and I see good things, when it's a very smart lyric, I go, wow, that's a good little thing, So I try to explain to her what I hear in a Jimi Hendrix song or an Aussie song from whatever, AC/DC, There's so many, there's a lot of great music has been made in the last 50 years. And what I like about pop music and about rock music, that if you would show a picture from the Beatles right now to a 20-year-old, and you say, what do you think these guys are, and because they look the same as a lot of kids look now, they have beards, and they would know. And I go, it's a band from 40 years ago. They go, what? So that's what's nice about pop music. There's not really a time thing anymore, It goes in waves. Right now it's a hip-hop wave and a rap wave and whatever. That's gonna change into something else too, sooner or later, because it's pop music. Pop music is basically disposable. Originally, that's why it's called pop. But right now it's proven that it's not disposable, because it's stay there. Led Zeppelin still sells about more than 1 million records every year. So do the Beatles, and so does AC/DC, all those bands. The Stones, Mick Jagger is 71 or something? Whitesnake, same thing, I mean, David doesn't have the voice that he had years ago, but he gets on stage and you see a personality larger than life, And that's something that became more anonymous right now. You don't see that. Even Ozzy, Ozzy's not the greatest singer, but he comes on stage and you go, it's fucking Ozzy, Something happens. There's like this thing that's hard to explain, and that's what show business is about. Also, you wanna have an experience that evening, and not just look at something. There's so many bands right now that have most of their stuff on a hard disk, and they sing live, but there's like a lot of backing vocals, and you see two guys sing, and you go, come on, man! It's like you're being screwed. You're looking at a puppet show. It's not, and that's what I like about my new band. We've been together now 4 years, but we've played on festivals where bands play that have most of the stuff on a hard disk. You hear 20 people sing, and you hear 20 guitar players and keyboards and everything. And with us, every show is different because we take a risk. When something goes wrong on the bass or the drum or the guitar, well, they never made a mistake anyway. But the drummer and the bass player in my band have been playing together ever since they were 13.
Yeah.
So they can, they lock in so good, and it's so much fun for me, and so inspiring to play with this band. And you've heard the singer, he's an amazing singer. He's like a cross between Dio, Chris Cornell, David Coverdale, and all the great singers from the last 40 years.
Having played with Dave Coverdale.
Sorry?
Having played with Dave, on Whitesnake.
Yeah.
Is it something? Wait, I'm going to ring my question, it's better.
Yeah, no problem.
Having played with Dave Coverdale, one of the biggest voices of hard rock and heavy metal, is it an handicap for your singer, Jan?
Have you heard the show tonight? You hear Jan sing Whitesnake songs like David sounded 30 years ago.
Yeah.
Jan was 17 or 18 when I played with Whitesnake on the Monsters of Rock tour, and he went to the show with a couple of friends. He grew up. Jan's favorite singers are Coverdale, Rod Stewart, Chris Cornell, Ronnie Dio. You know, the generation. But when Jan was this good, when he was like 20 or 21 or 22 or something, it had changed into grunge, and nobody was interested in great singers like Jan. So he played in bar bands for years and years, and then I found him, and he's really happy. You know, you can tell. We've got a great vibe on stage. We all love to play with this band, and no matter how it goes, you know, it's for me every night is. I've never in my whole career never had so much fun playing in a band like I did with this band. There's no pressure because it's a new band. On purpose, I named it a different band and not Vandenberg or not Adrian Vandenberg or whatever. It's Vandenberg's Moonkings, but I wanted to call it Moonkings. But my record company said, well, I want your name on it because otherwise you have to start all the way. So that's okay with me, you know, but because by now people are calling it Moonkings anyway, so it's fine. But I'm having just a great time with these guys. You can see it on stage, you know. And we just did a tour with Scorpions in France and all the Zenith big venues. And the crowd treated us like we were headliners. Everybody was, you know, it was really great. And the band is locked in, you know, it's tight. This is great. I'm having a great time. I feel like I'm starting again, you know.
Yeah,
which I am because I didn't play for 12 years or 13 years or something. Which helps too, you know, because I didn't want to stop, you know. It just the break took a little longer than I was planning.
Yeah, the break is about painting.
Yeah, painting and watching my daughter grow up, you know. I wanted to be able to explain to her what I do. But, you know, by the time she was 6 or 7, I felt that she still wouldn't understand. So I waited until she was 9 or 10 or something, and 12. And then in the meantime, I was doing exhibitions with my paintings and stuff. And at a certain point, I found Jan. And that's when I thought, oh man, I'm going to start a band again, you know. And fortunately, you know, we're still together. So
there's a French singer that say that music is a minor art, because for me the major art is painting. Do you think the same?
For me, you mean? No, well, for me, it's always been music and painting the same, because I get inspired from the same well. Where there's music, I love cooking too, you know. Cooking is painting with flavors. Painting is making a composition with colors, and making music is making a composition with sound. So it's all your senses, you know, your heart and your soul, and it depends on what channel you use. And I feel really lucky, you know, that it became my job, because I never thought so, you know. I always thought with the kind of music that I like to play, I would never be able to make a living, and here I am still, you know. I would never have thought so. So I feel really lucky, you know.
But now you're on tour, you play music, and you aren't painting.
Right now I don't have a lot of time for painting.
Yeah.
I have made it 1 or 2 in the last year, but I really want to focus on this right now because it's such a great band.
Yeah.
We're having so much fun on the road. Tonight, you know, it wasn't a huge crowd, but the people that were there had a great time, you know, and everybody had a smile on their face, and we have fun. I don't know, there's a few hundred people, I suppose, but in the Zenith shows there were like 15,000, and it was the same vibe. Everybody has a great time, including us. So, and that's what you do it for, you know. I've never been motivated by money, because otherwise I would have, you know, if I sell 5 paintings in a year, I make much more money than with this band in a year.
Yeah.
And so right now I don't care, because you only live once, you know. You gotta follow your heart, and I live completely by instinct. When my dad passed away a couple of years ago, and he was really surprised, you know. He never believed. He wanted to be a jazz musician. He only told me 2 years before he passed away. He said, well, I always wanted to be a jazz musician, but I couldn't offer you and your sister and your brother the life that I wanted you to have. So in the end, he became a professor at the university in my hometown, but he wanted to be a jazz musician, and he never thought I would make a living with this kind of music until he saw a show with my band Vandenberg in the 80s, and he couldn't believe it. There were 10,000 people, and he go, huh? He had no idea. And I had already toured in England and the States by then, but he thought, well, you know, it's a great hobby, you know, keep doing it. But when he came to a show, he said, huh? And he was really proud, you know, so that was really nice. So then he felt secure, because he was always a little worried about me. He was hoping that I would be a teacher or something, and I was for about a year, but I got bored with it, you know.
Thank you very much, Adrian Vandenberg. Hope to see you in Tunisia.
I really hope to play in Tunisia. A lot of people from Tunisia live in Holland, and I talked to some of them, and they explained to me that's pretty difficult, you know, to play in Tunisia, because not a lot of bands play there, you know, and it's apparently hard to organize. Man, I would love to. I would love to see Tunisia. I do eat some Tunisian food in my hometown. There's a Tunisian restaurant. You know, and they got, you know, Moroccan Tunisian food, you know, like couscous, hummus, and interesting flavors and smells and stuff. I would love to go, you know. I have to put a lot of sunblock on because I'm very pale, you know, and it's really hot over there. I would love to go through the deserts and see the towns, you know. So you still live there in Tunisia?
So I came from Tunis to make your interview.
All right. Well, my pleasure, man. Very nice meeting you. Thanks very much. I think they make wine in Tunisia.